Hey there, innovation champions. Melissa Dinwiddie here. Raise your hand if you love filling out tax returns. Anyone? Hello? Okay, I didn't think so. I thought I was done last month when my husband and I got all our files together for our accountant. But now, the end of April is when I file my quarterly sales tax returns. Ugh, am I right? But here's the surprising thing. I've discovered that this dreaded quarterly ritual actually contains a kind of hidden gift. Let me explain. While preparing those mind-numbing quarterly returns, something kind of unexpected happened. I found myself reviewing not just my financial numbers, but the entire trajectory of my business over the past few months. And for someone like me who has a tendency to be like, go, go, go all the time, this forced stop was, I don't know, kind of like finding water in the desert. And it made me realize we are kind of almost halfway through 2025. Okay, we're not really halfway through 2025, but we can see the halfway point kind of not that far ahead of us. So think about, when was the last time you actually stopped to assess where you are on your innovation journey? I'm not talking about checking boxes on your project plan, but really truly reflecting on what's working, what's not, and what unexpected opportunities might just be hiding in plain sight. So this experience reminded me of a really pivotal moment from when I was making my living as a professional artist many years ago. So I made my living at the beginning of my art career from commissioned artworks. And at this point, I had been creating commissioned art for years, and I had settled into a comfortable, but I got to be honest, increasingly uninspiring groove. My work was selling, but something really felt off, and the spark was fading, and it was really fading fast. And then tax season came along, and as I was sorting through receipts and cataloging that year's pieces, I noticed something. The pieces that brought me the most joy to create were really different from the ones that made up the bulk of my business. So I had these experimental works that were sitting in a corner of my studio, and they were labeled like just for fun rather than being integrated into my main offerings for clients. That simple observation, which I might never have made without this forced pause, completely redirected my artistic journey, or rather my business journey as an artist, shall we say. And I began intentionally incorporating elements from my just for fun work into my commissioned pieces. Clients really loved it. And suddenly the spark was back. Now, I didn't realize it back then, but I had actually just discovered what would later become my Create the Impossible framework. So, how can you harness the power of a mid-year reset to spark new innovation? So, let me show you how it maps to my framework. The first step in my Create the Impossible framework, if you have been following me at all, you know there are 3 steps. And the first step is play hard. And that's all about approaching challenges with the spirit of curiosity and exploration. So for your mid-year reset, this means intentionally breaking your routine to see things through fresh eyes. Here's a simple exercise that you can do. Look at the initiatives that you're currently working on and ask yourself, which parts of this work make me lose track of time? What would I do differently if this was just for fun? What wild experiment have I been putting off because it doesn't fit our approach? Now, the goal isn't to abandon your current projects. You don't want to do that. It's to rediscover what sparked your curiosity in the first place. So for me, this meant spreading out all photos of all my recent artwork and noticing which pieces made me smile involuntarily. And those smiles were like signposts pointing toward innovation opportunities that I had been too busy to notice. So that's step one in the framework. Step two, the second part of my framework, is make crap. And that's all about giving yourself permission to create imperfect first attempts rather than waiting for perfection. So for your mid-year reset, this means getting comfortable with the messiness of transition. So what if you did a crappy first draft of your next 6 months plan? What if you, I don't know, sketched out 3 wildly different directions that your current project could take? Or what if you tried a worst possible idea brainstorm with your team? When I did this assessment with my art business, I made what I called ugly transition pieces. These were works that really awkwardly combined my commercial style with my more experimental impulses. Now, they were not masterpieces, but they were like necessary bridges to what came next. So that's step two. Step three of the framework is learn fast. And that's all about turning every experience, especially the challenging ones, into learning opportunities. So for your mid-year reset, this means really honestly assessing what's not working and extracting valuable insights. So you can ask yourself, which initiatives are draining rather than energizing your team? What failure from the first half of the year holds your most valuable lesson? There's always lessons in those failures. And maybe what pattern can you spot across your successful and unsuccessful efforts? Now, the key is to approach this with curiosity rather than judgment. You're not looking for someone to blame. You are mining for gold in unexpected places. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, Melissa, but I don't have time for a major overhaul right now. The good news is you don't need one. In fact, trying to change everything at once, that's a recipe for overwhelm, not innovation. So instead, try this 30-minute reset ritual. For the first 10 minutes, just review. Just look back at what you've accomplished and what you've attempted so far this year. And just notice what energized you and what drained you. Don't analyze yet, just observe. This is like if you've ever done any meditation and done a body scan, it's really similar to that. You're not trying to change anything, you're just observing. And then for the next 10 minutes, reflect and ask yourself these 3 questions. What unexpected opportunity is hiding in plain sight? What am I avoiding because it feels too messy or too uncertain? And what would make the rest of the year feel truly successful? And then for the final 10 minutes, choose one thing to change. This is your reset. Maybe you're going to dedicate 15 minutes every morning to your most creative work. I'm a big fan of thinking, the thing that you do first is the thing that gets done. Or maybe you're going to schedule a monthly experiment day with your team. Or maybe you are going to revisit an idea that you shelved because it seemed too radical. Now, the power isn't in overhauling everything. It's in making one intentional shift based on genuine reflection. So, what's really fascinating about this mid-year reset, which of course you can do anytime throughout the year, the catalyst can be anything that forces you to pause. Even something as mundane as quarterly tax returns. And in fact, the most powerful innovation catalysts are often hidden in plain sight. They're disguised as routine and administrative tasks like doing quarterly tax returns or annoying interruptions. I don't know, that project delay that's driving you crazy. It might be offering you the chance to step back and see a better approach, or the unexpected reorganization. It might be creating new connections that spark breakthrough ideas. That quarterly reporting requirement, it might be your invitation to a mid-year reset that just transforms your innovation journey. The key is recognizing these forced pauses not as annoyances, but as opportunities to reflect and realign and recommit to creating the impossible. So here's my challenge to you. In the next week, schedule a 30-minute mid-year reset and book it in your calendar. Treat it as seriously as you would treat a meeting with your most important client. And then use that time to play hard with new possibilities, make crap as you explore transitions, and of course, learn fast from what the first part of the year has taught you. Remember, the value in setting goals isn't always in reaching the goals. It's just keeping you moving forward. And sometimes the best way to move forward is to pause and to reflect and reset. Ready to harness the power of strategic pauses in your innovation journey? Click the link in the description to book a complimentary innovation strategy session, and let's explore how the Create the Impossible framework can help you transform routine administrative tasks like doing your quarterly tax return into powerful innovation catalysts for your team or organization. If you found these insights about mid-year resets valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to join our community of innovation champions. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss a new strategy for driving creativity and innovation in your work. And I would love to know your thoughts on this topic. What seemingly mundane task has unexpectedly sparked your creativity? Was it organizing your desk or commuting to work, or maybe even filling out expense reports? Share your insights in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay playful, and keep creating the impossible. See you next time. Ciao.